So the new Sony WF-SP800Ns are a great pair of workout earbuds, and I actually prefer these to the Powerbeats Pro because first off, they sound a lot better and you can make them sound however you want. But more importantly, they also have an ambient mode as well as active noise cancellation. And thanks to their optional earphones, these earbuds do a really good job of staying in place. But I know a lot of people might be tempted to use these great workout earbuds as everyday carry earbuds. So let's see how these earbuds stack up to the Galaxy Buds Plus, Jabra Elite 75Ts, and even the Google Pixel Buds. Now, when it comes to price, all of these earbuds hover around the same area. The Galaxy Buds Plus retail for $150, both the Pixel Buds and Jabra Elite 75Ts retail for $180, and the WF-SP800Ns retail for $200. But the SP800Ns routinely like to go on sale for $168. So if you want to pick any of these earbuds up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to learn more about any of these earbuds, please watch their full reviews because we're only going to be going over their main differences. Now, overall performance and feature set wise, the SP800Ns do outperform all of these other earbuds here. But the one area where these earbuds really struggle and just kills it for me when it comes to considering these earbuds as everyday carry earbuds is their case. The SP800N's carrying case is significantly larger than all of these other cases. And since this case is so large, you really do notice it when it's in your pocket. Whereas all of these other cases just aren't as noticeable because they all have a smaller footprint and are all significantly thinner. Now, both the Galaxy Buds Plus and Jabra Elite 75Ts have decently sized cases. But personally, my favorite case here has got to be the Pixel Buds case, because this case just feels the most premium here. The Pixel Buds case has this nice heft to it, and it also has this slate finish to it that just feels great on the hand. Now, when it comes to tech specs, all of these cases charge via a USB-C port, as they should. But just keep in mind, only the Pixel Buds and Galaxy Buds Plus have wireless charging, whereas these other two cases don't. Now, personally, I don't care about wireless charging unless I have a phone that supports power sharing. But I did want to point it out because the SP800Ns don't have wireless charging, even though this case is significantly larger than both the Pixel Buds and Galaxy Buds Plus case. Now, when it comes to battery life, all of these earbuds are roughly the same. The Galaxy Buds Plus have a combined battery life of 22 hours, the Pixel Buds have a combined battery life of 24 hours, the Jabras have a combined battery life of 28 hours, but then there are the Sonys that have an advertised combined battery life of 18 hours. But that advertised battery life of 18 hours is for when these earbuds have their active noise cancellation turned on. And personally, I don't really use the active noise cancellation on any of my ANC earbuds when I have to. So these earbuds actually have a combined advertised battery life of 26 hours with their ANC turned off. So overall, all of these earbuds do have decent battery lives, but I think the real winners here are going to be the Pixel Buds because they have a combined battery life of 24 hours, but they also have wireless charging if you want it. Now, even though the SP800Ns do have a combined battery life of 26 hours, it's not all that impressive because this case is significantly larger than all of these other cases. But now let's talk about fit. All four of these earbuds fit like your standard in-ear earbuds. None of these earbuds go in super deep into your ear canal like the Sony WF-1000XM3s do, and none of these earbuds sit just at the edge of your ear canal like the AirPods Pros do. Now, all of these earbuds fit well, but I do feel that the SP800Ns are the best fitting earbuds here, because they do come included with optional earphones if you want them. And the earphones on the SP800Ns really do help keeping these earbuds in place. Now, even though the Pixel Buds also have earphones, their earphones are one size fits all, and you also can't remove them. So there's a chance that these earphones might just not work for you, either because they're too big or too small. But then there are the Galaxy Buds, which do have adjustable earphones, but even their largest earphones might be too small for some people. And then there are the Jabras that just don't have earphones. So overall, all of these earbuds fit just fine, but if you're looking for the most secure fit here, then you might want to go with the Sonys because of their larger ear fins. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, all of the earbuds here have zero latency across the board when you try to watch movies or videos on your phone, which is definitely a good thing. But when it comes to their setups, all of the earbuds here, except for the Jabras, each establish a connection with your phone. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one, it doesn't matter. Whereas the Jabras are using a hero and sidekick setup, meaning that one earbud, in this case the right earbud, actually establishes a connection with your phone and then relays that signal over to the left earbud. So if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you gotta use the correct earbud, in this case, the right earbud. But one advantage the Jabras do have over all of these other earbuds is that they can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time. So this can definitely be a big deal for any power users out there because you'll be able to hot swap from one device to another. But now let's talk about listening to music with these earbuds. Now, the Pixel Buds are the only earbuds that don't have a customizable EQ here. But the Pixel Buds should be able to please most people. These earbuds have a slight emphasis on the mids, so vocals are pronounced, and they also have a decent amount of bass to them. Then there are the Galaxy Buds Plus, which do have a few EQ settings to choose from, but I think these earbuds sound best when they're set to their clear EQ. While in their clear EQ, these earbuds put an emphasis on the mids, so vocals are very pronounced, but their bass isn't as strong as the Pixel Buds. But these earbuds do have much better clarity. So if you're someone that likes a neutral or brighter EQ, then the Galaxy Buds Plus are the way to go. But then there are the Jabras, which have a fully customizable EQ. But the standout characteristic about these earbuds is their bass. If you're someone that likes a lot of bass in their music, then these are the way to go. But then there are the SP800Ns, and these are the best sounding earbuds here, and they can do it all. First off, these earbuds have a fully customizable EQ, so you can make them sound however you want. If you want a neutral or brighter sounding EQ, you can do that, and these earbuds have the same great clarity that you'll find on the Galaxy Buds Plus. Or if you like a bass heavy EQ, you can also do that, and these earbuds have a lot more bass than the Jabras. The only thing that you gotta look out for on these earbuds is that right out of the box, the stock EQ on these earbuds have way too much bass, which I do find to be overpowering. But like I said, since these earbuds have a fully customizable EQ, you can go in and fix them. So overall, Pixel Buds sound good enough to please most people. The Galaxy Buds Plus are better for neutral or brighter sound signatures. The Jabras are better for people who like bass, and the Sonys can do it all. Now, when it comes to your media controls, the Jabras are the only earbuds here that don't have touchpads. So if you don't want to have to deal with touchpads, then the Jabras are your only answer here. Now, out of all of these touchpads, I think the Pixel Buds have the best touchpads here. These touchpads are very accurate, they do a really good job of recognizing their swiping gestures the first time, and they also do a really good job of rejecting input when you're just adjusting these earbuds. And you have full media control with either of these earbuds. So even if you have just one earbud in, you can still play, pause, skip through your music, and even adjust your volume, all without having to take your phone out of your pocket. Next up are the Sonys, which I think have the second best touchpad here. Now, through Sony's app, you can choose what each of these earbuds do, and just like the Pixel Buds, these touchpads are very accurate. But personally, I still prefer the Pixel Buds touchpad because you still have full media controls, even if you just have one earbud in. And finally, there are the Galaxy Buds Plus touchpads, which are okay, but these touchpads can be a little finicky by comparison. Sometimes they get a little too excited and they start to put in false inputs, or sometimes they just miss inputs. But finally, let's talk about the ambient modes on these earbuds. Now, unfortunately, the Pixel Buds are the only earbuds here that don't have an ambient mode. And personally, I am keeping my fingers crossed that Google eventually adds an ambient mode to these earbuds through a software update, because an ambient mode is extremely useful for like when you're walking around the city, or if you're grocery shopping, or even if you're just at home watching videos. Now, out of this lineup, I gotta say that the Jabras do have the worst performing ambient mode here. Now, even though the ambient mode on the Jabras is decent, it sounds very natural, and it does a really good job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. If you raise their ambient mode through their app past 50%, they do start to develop a hissing in the background, which can be very distracting when you're watching videos with these earbuds in a quiet room. Whereas the ambient mode on the Galaxy Buds Plus doesn't develop any such hissing in the background. But without a doubt, the Sonys do have the best performing ambient mode here. Now, even though the ambient mode on the Galaxy Buds Plus does sound much better than when they first came out, the ambient mode on the Galaxy Buds Plus still does sound a little tinny or artificial when compared to the Sonys. And the Sonys also do the better job here of blocking out wind noise when you're walking outdoors than these two other earbuds. Now, like I hinted at a little earlier on in this video, the SP800Ns also have active noise cancellation. But the active noise cancellation on these earbuds block out very little noise, and the active noise cancellation on these earbuds block out less noise than the WF-1000XM3s, and they block out significantly less noise than the AirPods Pro or Sennheiser Momentum 2s. So personally, I think the ambient mode on these earbuds is way more important than their ANC. Now, even though I really do think that it's a real shame that the Pixel Buds don't have an ambient mode, something that these earbuds do have over all of these other earbuds is that they have Hey Google support. So you can just be like, Hey Google, and then you'll just start talking to your voice assistant that way. Whereas with all of these other earbuds, you do gotta press and hold to activate your voice assistant. But finally, here's the microphone test. And I feel the microphone on the Jabras is good enough to get the job done for like a quick phone call. But this microphone isn't really doing all that much to block out that AC unit. And the same goes for the Sonys. I think they sound good enough for a quick phone call, but they aren't really doing all that much either to block out that AC unit. Whereas the microphone on the Galaxy Buds Plus does do a slightly better job of blocking out that AC unit. But finally, there's the microphone on the Pixel Buds, and the Pixel Buds simply just do the best job of blocking out that AC unit to the point where you can barely even hear it. Because if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear that AC unit. But if we switch back over to the Pixel Buds, it's basically completely gone, which is very impressive. So overall, like I said at the beginning of this video, I think the Sony WF-SP800Ns are a great pair of workout earbuds, and I actually prefer these to the Powerbeats Pro because they have a really good ambient mode. And when it comes to comparing these earbuds to today's popular everyday carry wireless earbuds, the SP800Ns are the best performing ones here. These earbuds are the best sounding earbuds here. You can make them sound however you want. They have the best ambient mode here because it sounds the most natural and they block out the most amount of wind noise. And they also have a really good battery life if you use them with their ANC turned off. But for me, the size of their carrying case is a really big deal breaker to use as everyday carry earbuds. This carrying case is 4 times thicker than my Pixel 4 XL. But hey, if you're willing to put up with it, by all means, daily drive the SP800Ns. But ultimately, I still think that the best logical everyday carry wireless earbuds here for Android users are going to be the Galaxy Buds Plus because of their price, tiny carrying case, wireless charging if you want it, and better performing ambient mode. But if you do want more bass in your music, then the Jabras are the way to go. But personally, I still really do like the Pixel Buds because these things have amazing build quality. But if Google really wants their Pixel Buds to take off, then they need to add an ambient mode through a software update ASAP. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.